Oh, and welcome to this edition of the Chlo Grow, which is edition number 4. So, I know we talked previously about me and maybe doing these weekly, but I haven't done them weekly. I haven't done them for a few weeks, and I think life gets in the way sometimes. And actually, I suppose there's a thing in the back of my mind going, I don't know if I've got enough stuff that you'd be interested with in a week, so I haven't done one recently. But I wanted to do one today because one of the things that's happened this week is it's been month number 1 on HRT. So I've been on estrogen and testosterone blocker for just over a month now. It was a month on the 8th, and we are recording this on the 11th, so just over a month. And I thought what I would do is just have a discussion in terms of what's changed in that time. What I would say is, as always with these things, I'm not an expert on anything at all, really. Less maybe TV history, maybe, I don't know. But generally, I'm not an expert on these things. So obviously, your medical practitioners and stuff are the experts. So, if they tell you something different, go with what they say. And I'm also going to say, I'm only doing it from my perspective in terms of what I've experienced. And, obviously for some people, some of these effects will happen later or sooner or not at all, or, people are different. So, I'm only talking about what's happened to me. So just as a bit of a sort of recap on that, in terms of what I have, in terms of my sort of medication, at the moment I have estrogen in patch form, and I have a T blocker, which is finasteride, which I take as a tablet. Honestly, I've struggled with the patches because the reason I struggle with them is because I have problems with stuff that doesn't necessarily stick very well to my skin. I'm a bigger girl, so I sweat a bit more, and then it doesn't really stick as well. And I've struggled with it as a result, and I've actually ended up in a position where I've lost patches in my sleep and stuff like that because it comes unstuck. So as at the moment I'm on the patches, but the plan is to go over to using the gel instead. In the UK, you get the choice really of the patches, the gel, or the tablet form. And I've sort of decided against the tablet because I've seen that potentially there's a higher risk of things like blood clots and stuff like that. And a bit. I mean, I could take the risk, but if there's another option, I prefer not to really do that. So I've decided to do that. So at the moment, as I say, I'm on the patches, and I'm on for the estrogen, and I'm on the tablets which is finasteride, as I said, for the T blocker. But as I say, hopefully that should be changing soon. So in terms of what I have noticed so far, obviously, as I said, we're only a month into it, so it would be lovely if everything just changed overnight, but that doesn't happen. Some things will take a lot longer. I said this is just my journey and stuff like that, so I can only talk really through what's happened with me so far. So I suppose it would probably break it down into the sort of physical and the sort of emotional side of things as well. So I think if we'll start with the emotional. Why not? So emotional side of things, definitely changes on the emotional side of things, and so I think probably for me the things that have really changed is emotional side of things. I'm a more emotional person than I was. I get sadder on things than I used to. So, things like like a bit of sad news on the TV or something, or someone writes a sad story about a pet or whatever on Facebook, and that tends to get me upset a bit more now than it used to. So that certainly has changed. I mean, I suppose I've always been a bit of a sensitive person anyway, but that's certainly been a noticeable difference. And I suppose the other thing as well is you'll hear this thing about brain fog. It doesn't necessarily happen to everyone, and I'm at the point now really where that's beginning to become more of a thing, which is a bit of a. I suppose it's a temporary thing, and it becomes a challenge at times. Certainly at the moment, because I've got assignments and stuff that I need to do. So for my Open University, so it's good timing on that. But we'll get there. But yeah, sometimes with the brain fog and that, you lose sort of track of what you're thinking, and you sort of go and think, and actually the kind of things you're supposed to be doing, and it becomes a struggle sometimes. But it's a temporary thing, isn't it? So hopefully that should be fine on that. So I suppose that's. I don't know if there's any more emotional things at the minute. Am I any calmer or anything like that than I was? I don't know. I don't know at the moment. I think obviously because there's lots of other stuff that's going on at the moment. I'm very busy with work and very busy with uni stuff and that. So it's difficult to know, isn't it? It's difficult to know, to say that this other stuff, would I be more stressed? I don't know. I mean, for me, that will probably be the other thing as well, I suppose, because sometimes I find that when I get stressed, sometimes that's actually quite useful for me. So, like for doing my assignments and stuff, sometimes I'm actually do better at getting that done with a bit of stress. So, that's a concern, I suppose. If I get calmer, am I going to struggle to get stuff done because of it? I don't know. The answer. So so that's really the sort of emotional side of things, I suppose. So so physical side of things. So I think we'll break the physical side of things down into not brilliant things, and some of our sort of more positive changes. So let's start with the sort of badder side of things first. So one of the things I have noticed is the fact that I am beginning to get tired a lot quicker now. So I do tend to find that I need more sleep, and I do tend to find that I'll get to, there's nights where it'll be like 9:30 or whatever, and I'll be absolutely knackered and go to sleep and stuff. Whereas previously I'll be up till sort of midnight or whatever. Not every night, but some nights that's certainly the case, and I find I do end up needing more sleep as a result of it. The other thing I'm finding is that I'll end up having 8 hours sleep, and I'll be tired still, and I'll end up having mornings are a bit of a problem sometimes as well. So it is a struggle to sort of get up in the mornings. So I've certainly noticed that. Side of things. The other thing as well as I've noticed as well is I do tend to need to wee a lot more, and so there is a bit of a difference on this, and it's one of those things of is this thing a myth? So in that when you're male and you wee, you can sort of hold it in for a bit. If you feel the sort of urge to go for a wee, you're good for a bit. And when you're a female on estrogen and stuff like that, whether it's a case that when you need to sort of go, you need to sort of go. And I've sort of wondered really whether that is actually in fact a myth. And it turns out that it's not a myth. It's definitely not a myth. So I have definitely need to go more often, and when I do need to go, I need to go because, I definitely need to go. So there's a sort of negative side effects so far, I suppose. In terms of the positive side effects, so my skin is definitely smoother skin now. That's certainly been commented on. So certainly the skin on my face, the skin on my arms is softer than it used to be. So that's really nice. I mean, I still have to shave and stuff like that. So that's, it's still maybe not as smooth as it will hopefully be eventually, but that's a combination of time and estrogen and laser and that going down. My girlfriend pointed out I do have more feminine forearms as well, so you can sort of there's like a sort of dip thingy, or a little hill thingy, I suppose. Really, I've sort of brown fat, so she's pointed that out because it's a thing that I wouldn't really notice, but she's obviously picked up on it. And the other thing as well is my face is actually beginning to change. Now, I hadn't noticed this because I think it's one of the things of if you look in the mirror each day, you're not going to see any changes, which, unfortunately, for a lot of us, we have to look in the mirror each day. You can't really avoid it because if you try and shave without looking in the mirror, it will end badly. So, you have to look in the mirror each day. So you don't really notice any changes, and I hadn't. And a lot of the people around you won't necessarily notice the changes because actually, they see you every day or every few days or whatever. They don't really notice the difference. So one of the things that I've sort of suggested doing really was I talk about is taking pictures. So one of the things that I did was on the 8th of March, which was the day before I started HRT. So sorry, I started HRT on the 9th of March, and so the day before I started HRT, not the 8th of March, like I said at the beginning. So it was the 8th of March, the day before, and I took a picture of me then to act as a comparison side of things. And I just thought, what? On the 8th of April, I thought, what? I'm going to have a look. I'm going to take a picture of me and just compare and just see, is there any difference? Because, I couldn't see there's any difference. I didn't really expect there to be any difference. But actually, there is. Certainly around my eyes. My eyes are looking more feminine now. And, I think certainly my face is rounder than it used to be. So, there is a change. And I think I would certainly recommend it to anyone. I mean, not just somebody's transition, but maybe someone's just like losing weight or whatever. Just take pictures of it. It really helps. I mean, it's dysphoric at the time because I don't really like taking pictures of me, but it helps when you look back on it because you've got something to compare what was then and what was now, and you can begin to see the sort of differences, or hopefully see differences. I think in my case, I'm fortunate the fact that there has been some changes so far, and long way to continue as far as I'm concerned. So as I say, that's really sort of what I wanted to talk about today. In terms of anything, in terms of sort of other stuff that's really sort of gone in since the last one. I mean, nice hair. So I've had my hair redone, so that's really nice. Most of the paperwork side of things is done now. So there's a few stragglers of people that I'm trying to sort of chase to get things changed over. But on the whole, most of that side of things is done. Yesterday I went and gave blood, which was good because I think that's been one of the sort of fears in a way because it's a medical thing and because you don't. I had a fear, I was concerned how people would react. I was concerned how you know, they might react. I was concerned that, you know, something might go, or trans person, we won't have blood for them or something. And, you know, it's all misfounded. You know, they were absolutely lovely over it, no problems whatsoever. So I will continue to do that going forward. Because I mean, from my point of view, I'm very fortunate that I'm healthy and that I'm in a position where I can give blood. So I feel that personally, I feel that I actually should, because, you know, I don't know whether I might need some in the future, and I've certainly had family and friends that have needed it in the future. And if it wasn't the option to do it, then you know, they might, well, wouldn't want to think what would happen. So, you know, I suppose that would be my things for today. Will be, you know, take pictures, and, you know, if you can, give blood. Obviously, not everyone can give blood. You know, there's obviously lots of reasons why people can't. But, you know, if you can, then do consider it, because they are lovely, even to trans people. So, but no, that's about it for this week and for this session. So I'm not sure when the next one will be. I'm not going to promise it'll be a weekly thing. I suppose really I'm going to try and do these when I've got something that's happened. So I'll certainly be back for the 2-month one, because I would, you know, I'd hope that to be some more changes at that point. So I'll update you then. But from me, goodbye. Have a good week, and we'll see you again next time. Bye. And also, sorry for the squeaking from the chair. Bye bye.